Are you a real estate investor in the Chicago market? Well, you're in the right place. I'm Mark Ainley, founder and partner of GC Realty Development and co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investment podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. In our 23 years in business, we've leased to over 5,000 tenants, we've managed over 6,000 units, and we've completed over 60,000 work orders. Now, in our time leasing these 5,000 units, we've had next to nothing eviction rate. It's huge, it's been awesome. But we've also inherited a lot of tenants, and that's helped us become experts in the rental collection and eviction kind of part of property management. So rental collection, it's the lifeline, it's the blood that flows through the real estate investor. If we don't collect rent, we don't have a business. And having strong rental collections is huge. So here at GC Realty Development, we have a collection specialist. That's all they do all day long. And we track our numbers, our KPIs between A class, A and B class, and C and D class, because there's definitely higher collection levels when you're getting into C and D class properties. But we're really awesome at it, and we're very by the book, the mindset of the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and that is when we have tenants that are falling behind, they're slipping, or maybe they're having their own issues. We're going to stay on top of that, and we're going to make sure we're following up with them on a daily basis, trying to collect that money, trying to, and then the day, our collections person ends up being a salesperson, right? Like, they're selling the tenants on why it's important for you to pay rent, because if you don't pay rent, this is what's going to happen. So it's funny how you look at it that way, but they ultimately are a salesperson trying to get that rent for those people that are struggling. Now, when you're looking at rental collections, it ultimately turns into potentially payment plans, or worst case scenario, having to figure out a way to get the tenant out. And we never want to have to get to that end point, which we'll talk about here in a second. But when you're focusing on rental collections, your goal is just to get them paid as soon as possible. They get their income in maybe every other week, maybe every Friday. Our goal is to focus around those dates. And our collections person actually works on Saturdays as well too, because when that tenant gets paid at 5 o'clock on Friday, and we know they're having a tough time, we don't want to give them to Monday. We want to make sure that we're on their butt on Saturday morning saying, hey, did you deposit the money? Did you make the payment? We want to make sure you do this. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, tenants might make the bad decision and it's going to fall back on them, but ultimately it falls back on you as a real estate investor or us as a property management company. So we try to stay on top on that on the regular. And I know consistently our C and D class collections at the end of the month ends up being like under 9%, and our A and B collections is minimal. It's under like 1.5%. So it's pretty impressive what we're able to do. But we put the time and we put the resources into it. Now, there's the tenants that lack the payment plans, and or they failed the payment plans, or they lied to us multiple times, or maybe lying is not the right word. Maybe they just don't follow through with their promise, and we have to then serve 5-day notices, follow through with the eviction process, which is something that we are very experienced in throughout all the counties. And depending what county you're in, the eviction process is a little different in each county, and the 5-day process is a little different if you have a mortgage, if you don't. So that's something that we definitely understand and we're experts in, and we've we ultimately have to evict people, whether we have to go all the way through with the sheriff or we're able to negotiate out of it. One of the big things that we do to try to prevent evictions is doing cash for keys. Cash for keys is huge. Cash for keys is basically the, hey tenant, I'm going to give you $1,000. You might be behind $5,000, but I'm going to give you $1,000 out of my pocket, and as long as you leave by Tuesday. Now, a lot of people think that's crazy. Why would I give a tenant that owes me money? But your ultimate goal when you get into that situation is to get the unit back. You need to get that unit back, get it turned over, and start and put someone that's going to responsibly be paying every month at that point. So sometimes it's just really controlling your destiny. And again, we don't want to encourage that getting people out, because ultimately our #1 goal with collections is to save people, right? Our goal is to keep people in houses. That's in your best interest, that's in the tenant's best interest, that's in the neighborhood's best interest. So if you have additional questions about rental collections or our process around collections, we'd love to talk to you more on it. But this is something that in our 23 years of business, we've definitely hammered out down to the touch points on a daily basis, the text messages we send, the way we send them, the words we say in them, and it's something that we're pretty proud of here at GC Realty. So Look forward to talking to you, and we'll see you soon.